Yesterday we concluded our summer peak sale here at the Pavilion Gardens in Buxton, Derbyshire, and I'm pleased to say that the sale totaled over 1.5 million in sales, and we're currently standing at about 68% sale rate, which should reach above 70% by the time that the provisional deals that are still being worked upon are concluded. We sold cars all around the world during the sale yesterday, and I'm pleased to inform that they went to, referring to my list, Australia, France, Germany, India, Ireland, the Isle of Man, Switzerland, and of course all around here in the United Kingdom. The room was packed, we had a plethora of telephone bids, and the internet was highly active and understandably with over 1,000 registered bidders. So thank you to everybody who registered and participated in yesterday's auction. Some of the top sellers, or starting with the top seller so far, was the Jaguar E-Type V12 Roadster. So that was a previous concours winning car. It was entered from the Loch Lomond collection, of which we had another 5 cars. And again, a desirable UK example, manual gearbox, and that was the top seller in yesterday's auction. Another car I'd like to highlight was another Jaguar E-Type. So that was a 4.2 fixed head coupe. Funnily enough, another car entered from Scotland, although not in the Loch Lomond collection, but that one had been uprated for fast road use, so it had a higher compression ratio and Coopercraft style brakes, and the chap that bought that drove it home, and I'm sure he enjoyed his 2-hour drive back home. That was a lovely example and achieved a very good £60,000 or thereabouts in total. Another of the top sellers was the Jaguar Mark V drop-head coupe, which you may well be able to see behind me. Now again, that was a fiercely contested car. We had interest from here at home in the United Kingdom and on the continent. I think it remained in the UK in the end, that car, but definitely bids from Europe as well. And again, it was a particularly nicely restored car, so people are prepared to bid strong for particularly nicely presented examples. And in total, the Mark V achieved £53,000 in total. Another car that I'd like to highlight, funnily enough, is another Jaguar. So this one was an XK120, again from the Loch Lomond collection. It was a left-hand drive example, which was fully restored by Sargent Metalworks, so a restorer in America who have previously won Pebble Beach with cars that they've restored in the past, so great provenance there, and again was fiercely contested from Europe and from here at home, and in the end achieved some 49,500 in total. The Austin Healey 104 uprated to M-Spec was also sold from the Loch Lomond collection and achieved a strong result. Now, that one, as I say, was an M-Spec car, not an original M car, but uprated to M-Spec, so some tasty upgrades on that and will battle on quite nicely, I'm sure. And that one achieved a sum total of £44,000. An honorary mention goes to the Healey Silverstone from the Loch Lomond collection, which is actually just behind you currently, and that one is very close to getting over the line and being sold as we do this video, and by the time the video comes out should hopefully be off to a new home too. We had a number of cars that achieved over their top estimate figures. So the first of those which I would like to bring attention to is the Mercedes-Benz 280 SE 3.5 saloon. Now, people who are into their Mercedes will know the 3.5 of the 280 SE is the top of the range, the one to have. And this car had some £180,000 spent on its restoration. It was a UK supplied right-hand drive car and deservedly did a very, very strong £51,000 in total. The Porsche 911 on the other end of the spectrum, a more modern classic. Now this was an early 2010s car. It was a Carrera 4 Cabriolet. It was one owner, it was 21,000 miles, it had full main dealer service history from memory, and again that had a plethora of interest, a strong commission bid, telephone interest and room bidders on that car in the auction, and achieved a deserved £50,000 or there, just over in total. Another nicely restored classic car that achieved over its top estimate was the Morris Minor Tourer. Now this was an M8 chassis number, so those who know their Morris Minors will know that's an original factory Tourer, that car. It had just been fully restored to the cost of some £20,000 by Shakespeare Garage here in Buxton, and pleasingly found a new home with a plethora of interest, far surpassing its top estimate for a total of £15,500. Staying on British classics, but moving to pre-war, we had the 1932, from memory, Rolls-Royce 2025 Park Ward Saloon. Now, this achieved some £24,000 in total, which is still great value for a pre-war Rolls-Royce, of course, but in recent times the market for the 2025s has been a touch difficult, and this far surpassed the sort of current expectations of the guide price of 15 to 20 to reach that fantastic figure, and the gentleman came to collect it earlier and was very, very pleased with the car, so that's gone off to a good home. On the other end of the performance spectrum, but staying in Britain again, was the Lotus Eclat. Now, this wasn't a standard Lotus Eclat. This car had been supercharged, and the vendor really is a bit of a master technician or engineer to get the supercharger in and get everything working as it is, and the Lotus enthusiasts definitely appreciated that, because there were 2 strong commission bids and internet interest in that Lotus, and again it far surpassed its top estimate figure, achieving some 19,000 in total from memory. The penultimate car that I'd like to highlight from the sale yesterday that far surpassed its top estimate was the Ford Cortina Mark II GT. So very similar to the 1600E, other than not the walnut dash and things like that. This car had been restored here in Derbyshire by an amateur restorer who's very, very good at his restorations and has conducted quite a few over his years, particularly on Fords, and it was a really smartly presented car. Finished the restoration last year, and again, strong interest, telephone, room, and I think in the end went to a room bidder, with the total price paid some £20,500. Finally, again, another car just over my shoulder, I do believe, yes, the Alvis TA21 drop head. Now again, that was a strongly competed car, people in Europe and in the United Kingdom competing for that one, and a very, very elegant motor car, if I do say so, and understandably why it made a very strong, again, over 27,000 in total. We will be back here at the Pavilion Gardens in Buxton in October, so slightly earlier than we normally have. So normally November, but we've brought it forward to October this year. So if you have any cars which you'd like to consign to that sale, please get in touch with one of the team. Before then, we also have the Kelham Hall sale, so our inaugural auction there. That's going to be a curated sale of selected motor cars, motorbikes and automobilia. So if you've got anything that you are interested in talking to us about or entering into that sale, again, please do get in contact with the team. We'll also be back at the Millbrook Proving Ground, so that'll be towards the end of the year after the Buxton sale, and again, anything that you're interested in talking about, please get in contact with the team. And also, finally, we will be back at the National Motorcycle Museum. I believe it's October, but I can't quite bring the date to mind. But we'll be back at the National Motorcycle Museum with a fabulous selection of motorbikes and scooters for you all to bid on and buy. You can get in touch with us on 01925 210035, and you can also email sales@h&h.co.uk if you have any vehicle that you're interested in consigning. Thanks again to everybody who attended on viewing day or on auction day here at Buxton, and we hope to see more of you back or new faces very, very soon. Thank you. Goodbye.